Five, four, three, two, one. James Kaufman, World News Report today, May 5th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Happy Cinco de Mayo. This video sponsored by True Gold Republic, the precious metals experts. Talked to one of their experts today about diversifying your portfolio to help assure your future financial security. Find their contact information in the description below or pinned in our first comment. All right. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me and everything's going well. God bless you guys. Happy Cinco de Mayo, which I'm sure you guys know was a holiday created by the American beer companies. And as, well, I guess it is related to one of the battles, but it's not Mexico's Independence Day. Does everyone know that? I think y'all do. Hey, Crystal, I was just talking about your house to somebody else, saying, yes, houses are flooding here, because they keep calling me from all over the world. I said, I'm so far okay, but every direction I know, I've had a friend's house here in the Woodlands flood. So how's your situation going? I hope it's manageable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, James Kaufman, World News Report today. It is Cinco de Mayo, or May 5th, 2024. God bless you guys. Please share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Tonight we're going to do a volcano, earthquake, wildfire, and air quality, along with other things. We're going to start out here with volcanoes. These are all the volcanoes erupting around the world. The ones that are red are in full eruption, and wow, the ones that are in orange are in minor eruptions. And we're going to count them and see how we're doing with all this solar activity. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Crystal. What's up, Mike Johnson? Good to see you. I hope this sounds 5x5 or y'all can hear me. All right, guys, we're going to take some guesses at this. It looks like we have quite a few volcanoes erupting. I'm going to actually count them silently, or try to. Well, we got Kilauea going again, but not Mauna Loa. Although I see a lot of earthquake activity over there. We might have both of those going soon. Looks like we have quite a few volcanoes, and I'm going to kill that sound cam and turn it back on. All right, I got a good number, folks. A good number. I'm going to let everyone put their guesses in, and I'm pretty sure I got them all that time. Went pretty easy. We are in a bit of an uptick. Our all-time low, since I've been broadcasting for about the last 3.5 years, has been 39. And our all-time high, I believe, has been 64. I believe we're headed back up. Went real low, back down to the low 40s, and now we're headed up. And currently, although we have more volcanoes that look like they might be awakening, we have 53 volcanoes eruptions. Volcanoes erupting. Excuse me. How's that erupting? My keyboard is giving me some trouble here. All right. Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you? Miss Teresa. Mike, good to see you. So I guess really no one guessed. And Mr. Mike Johnson. Kathy, did Kathy get the right number? I'm trying to. Oh, 56. Oh, I didn't even see that. Great guess, Miss Kathy. I guess it was because it was 2 lines. I'm not quite sure why I didn't see that. Great guess, Miss Kathy. Way to catch up, Teresa. All right, guys, let's move on. These are the earthquakes in Canada. Now, they don't report them to the USGS or any other reporting agency. Them in Russia and China. China sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. Well, nothing's been reported since Thursday. And you can tell the last earthquake reported is here, circled in purple right here. Nothing's been reported since Thursday. They only work about 2.5-day work weeks, a lot like Greece. Their work week on average is about 21 hours. And that's not only for government workers, that's for everybody in Greece. Now, I don't know as far as the private sector in Canada. I know we have a lot of subscribers from Canada. If you want to tell us, do they work out 80 hours a week like they do here? What I'd like to say is this has not been updated since Thursday of last week, and it won't be updated probably tomorrow unless there's a huge earthquake, because regularly these people come in after lunch on Tuesday and leave after lunch on Thursday. And so everything you see here is going to be several days old, but there's nowhere else to get the information because they don't share. Well, I guess they just don't work a lot. I wish that we had a situation a lot like that one. All right, so we've had the big quake here. I reported already. Let's see if we can grab it. A 6.1. It was a 6.2 by the Europeans and the USGS. I did do a video on that quake earlier. We're going to go over some general trends. We're going to stay away from the U.S. right now. We are seeing activity, and Kilauea is under minor eruption. We're seeing earthquakes on top of that. And for those of y'all that don't know, this is a volcanic ridge that actually goes in to the Aleutian Islands here, and goes right into the Russian peninsula here. This is all Russia here. You can see the line of volcanoes that actually stops with the last several volcanoes being the Hawaiian Islands themselves. All right, we had a lot of activity over in Papua New Guinea. We've got one minor eruption. If you zoom in quite a bit, you'll see the yellow one behind it, an awakening volcano, another awakening volcano here. Never anything awakening in the U.S. We're going to actually use the USGS to go over that. Everything from Mexico City down is a volcano. It's on a plate tectonic boundary all the way through, and we can just go through them. We can go from Mexico City down to, you name it, guys, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, where they're staging all the UN migrants to come into the U.S. That's where they're regularly flying them into first, from Africa and other Middle Eastern countries. That's the United Nations. 90% of that is paid for by U.S. tax dollars. Remember when Trump got us out of the United Nations? That was a smart move. I wanted to show you what's going on here. These are erupting volcanoes, and everything in yellow are awakening volcanoes. So we have a lot of potential here. Okay, a lot of potential here for a lot of awakening volcanoes, as y'all can see. And most of these volcanoes we've seen erupt already. That's white right there. I can name most of them. So you can bet that they're going to all be erupting very soon. I cannot believe that they've built so many nuclear power plants in this little area here. 5 new ones here, 3 new ones right here. What are these people thinking? This is the ring of fire. And that, well, it's just not a good idea, in my opinion. All right, let's keep going here. We see a little swarm over here in Puerto Rico, also in Haiti. And this is going to be the Cayman Islands, a 4.2. a pretty good jolt right there. Completely covered through Central America, which is part of North America. This is going to be the Galapagos Islands. They have so many endangered species that are just found on the Galapagos Islands. We had a big quake here on the East Pacific Rise of 547 hours ago. A couple more here. The plates are moving. They're being charged up by the sun. We're going to see some really big earthquakes over the next, well, this month. Because y'all saw the backside of the sun, right? It looks ferocious. So, Venezuela, Colombia, all these awakening volcanoes. This is called the Peru. Bolivia is included. Argentina is included. Bolivia has some coast. Argentina has no coast whatsoever in the Pacific. They lost everything in a war against Chile, who owns all the coast all the way up to Bolivia. They call this the Peruvian-Chilean wedge, and it's a volcanic park with about 20,000 volcanic cones. And I always thought that it would wake up much quicker than it has, and it has not. We have one erupting volcano, two awakening. Up here, one fully erupting, one in minor eruption. This is the area where the 20,000 volcanic cones are, period. Very surprising to see them not. This is the South Sandwich Island region. And that's, well, there's one populated island right here. It's a non-populated island. 5.4, the closest you can get to Antarctica, of course. All right, is that the Canary Islands? Is Miss Tiffany with us? A 2-3 on the Canary Islands. And this is going to be, well, that's going to be Portugal. And what are the name of those islands again? Well, I guess it's not really on an island. It's off the coast of Portugal here. And it's on a plate tectonic boundary that moves here into the Mediterranean. We're seeing some action here. A lot going on in the Aegean Sea here, around Greece, where I believe the biblical earthquake will occur, sending the tidal wave into Israel as all of their enemies surround them. And they're surrounded completely right now by enemies: Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Syria. Jordan's kind of staying in the middle. Turkey's one of their enemies now. And I heard that Brandon, you know Brandon, right? He stopped the shipment to Israel today. So that's not real good, is it? Or is it? Who knows? This is being reported out of Russia, probably caught by somebody else's geophone. We're not getting a lot of reports out of Russia unless they're associated with the biggest caldera on Earth, the second biggest caldera in the solar system behind one on Mars. A huge swarm of pretty big quakes. And that is the caldera. And I'll give you the name of it. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but that's it right there. Xinjiang. And I'm not even going to try. And these quakes are north of the caldera here. You can see that the last several eruptions have been stopped by the Himalayan mountains, the highest mountain range in the world. And, well, they flowed around it and actually built this peninsula with Laos, with Vietnam, with Thailand, with Cambodia, and Burma. And probably are responsible for building most of Malaysia and Indonesia as well, as that magma from the last eruption, probably 10,000 years ago. Let's take a look at the volcanoes in that area. They're not showing a ton of them. I've actually done a study on the volcanoes up here in Mongolia and Russia, and there are plenty of them. But this is the caldera. It's very easy visually seen. You can see where the magma actually flowed. And what's really interesting, I turn those off. What's really interesting is China made their border, whoa, wrong direction, exactly where the last magma stopped flowing. See that dark white line or solid white line right there? Everything else is a checkered white line. These are provinces in China. That's how they picked. There's Hanoi, not part of China. Obviously, the solid white line tells you that this is all China, and this is the caldera, and they say that it's from one end of China to the other end of China. And you can see that, well, you might not be able to, but Beijing is here. Let's see, Shanghai is here, and Hong Kong should show up right about here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know why Hong Kong wouldn't be showing up. Where is Hong Kong? If Shanghai is here, Hong Kong's got to be right here. Very, very strange. Hong Kong, there it is. It's covered by whatever these are, which really I don't know what they are. Never seen anything like it. These two things here. We can actually zoom in and try to see what they are. I guess it's Chinese writing for Hong Kong. One of the most beautiful cities in the world, used to be the financial capital of the world. I don't know who really owns that title anymore. All right, around Malaysia and Indonesia just popping off. That's where we had the 6.1, 6.2 with all the aftershocks right here in Indonesia. Then up to the Philippines, we had that large eruption just yesterday. I did a report on it. We'll kind of pull these off. That's going to be, is it called Raykus or zoom in a little bit. It was just yesterday. See if I can find it. I don't see it, but we did have an eruption yesterday. And it's going to be right through here. Raykus Island. Oh, there it is. Wrong volcano. There's the eruption right there. And that's full eruption, if you can see it right there. Part of the Philippines. And as you zoom out, these are the two big ones. The 6.1, and I don't know if I can grab the other one. I can turn them all back on here, ladies and gentlemen. And Papua New Guinea's being hit as always. We've got some really strange, and we've seen this before. You can tell there's a difference here, and this is some kind of boundary here. But we have a swarm all of a sudden. And this is going to be a swarm of 3.0. Wow, what a small 2.8. And I don't see anything to me that looks like a volcano, but I'm not very familiar. Nature Reserve there, not very familiar with Australia, especially Western Australia. But obviously this is a line of some sort, being, well, obviously two plates of some sort separated. I've always wondered what these lines are, and I did find out. Does anyone know what these lines are, or the lines that show up on the map here are? The way they used to find the depths of the waters is to pull something behind the boat, and then they do the math at the angle that the anchor or rope was pulled at, and come up with a guesstimate of the depths. That's what caused all these lines all over the ocean through here. All right, the Philippines, lighten up. We've got a lot of earthquakes on plate tectonic boundaries, and more volcanoes are awakening. Everyone knows this is the Eurasia plate. It's the North American plate, Pacific plate. Every bump you see here, this goes down to the Hawaiian Islands. Every bump you see here is a volcano. There's obviously 70% of Earth is water, and there's more volcanoes underwater going off right now than we'll ever be told. We're only told about the volcanoes above sea level that are going off. Imagine all the ones below sea level that are going off, and methane bubbles are coming to the surface and getting into our atmosphere. All right, so the most pressure in the entire world is right here on these four plates: North American, Pacific. This is the Indonesia, and the, let's see, I'll have to Philippine sea plate. It's really the Eurasia, and gosh, it's not really called the Philippine Sea Plate. Anyway, we will figure that out in just a second here. I want y'all to see how this plate is not connected right here. And remember, every one of these islands is a volcano. Every single one of them, even if it's not above water, they call it a seamound. And that would mean volcano as well. These perfect lines have always bothered me. They don't look anything but man-made to me. That's just my opinion, I guess. There's another part where the plate's not connected here. You can see they have it in black. Black is a dream. Blue is somewhat connected. And I think y'all all know they just got through building 3 nuclear power plants, 3 new ones here. They still haven't done anything. There's, let's see, Fukushima. And this is the whole province of Fukushima here. Well, it's all been closed down. The city, the inlet, the entire province, they actually take a highway around it to be able to utilize the northern part of Japan. And it's basically closed down. They're going to be finding some weird animals there in a few years, but they were never able to really fix it. Right now, they still have never got the rods from the nuclear meltdown. And the rods get deeper and deeper every day. And they continue to use seawater from the Pacific to pour down to keep the rods cool, so it doesn't go kaboom, I guess. And they've tried robots. They've lost a lot of people trying to get these rods. I don't think they're ever going to get them. No one really knows what's going to happen when these rods get deep enough. But in the meantime, they use millions of gallons of water a day trying to cool those rods. And they built 3 more nuclear power plants right here on a plate tectonic boundary and on a volcanic ridge. The whole thing's a shit show, right? And they're pouring 1 million gallons plus back into the actual Pacific Ocean that has been contaminated by nuclear waste, or is nuclear waste. Thus, your cod coming out of Alaska is not what it used to be, right? When we zoom out, you can see all the pressure here. Again, North American. And I'm going to pull up. Oh. Spell this wrong. Spell this wrong. I want the name of that plate. Sorry, guys. Pacific plate. I guess they're calling it the Philippine plate. Anyway, the arrows here that you see, and I will show you real quick. Most people make their predictions using these arrows. By most people, I mean Deutsch. The Philippine plate. There's more pressure right there where these 4 plates meet. The Eurasia plate. Gosh, I have another name for this, and the Pacific plate, North American plate that somehow comes down through here, and the Philippine plate. And y'all could see there was 2 areas that were not connected right there, which is nothing but bad news. All right, to finish this off, I guess it's going to be about enough of this, right? 18,000 years, which is a speck of time, if the world or Earth is 4.4 billion years old, right? If those are the odds, or those are the dates we're given, right? All right, I'm worried about this caldera here more than Yellowstone. I know Tiff's worried about Yellowstone more. We also have this volcano here awakening, and we have a 5.2 to prove it. We're going to actually keep going. We're going to look at the USBS. Look at the swarm over here. All these. There's a 5.6 that just popped off. A 6.2. We definitely have a volcano. It's right on a volcano, right on a plate tectonic boundary, and a lot of the guesstimates were 12 kilometers of depth, which is nothing. Just a few miles. I think we're loaded. Let's see if we're still here, guys. All right, with that said, if anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee, someone did buy us a cup of coffee last night. I want to thank that person. Really appreciate that. Buy us more than one cup. If anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee right now, times are needed. We need coffee. All right, around Anchorage, Alaska, which also remember that the remote viewer price, the remote viewer got pricked at the Las Vegas airport, died 24 hours after handing a file about what he remote viewed. And he actually warned his wife and friends that this might occur. But he said he remote viewed U.S. military working with aliens in Mount Hayes. Now, y'all can Google it yourself or use Yandex. All you got to do is type in price viewer, and his story is real and comes up. Is it Pat Price? What is Pat? Yeah, Pat. That's what I thought it was. Type in Pat Price. He gave the file one day after he gave the file to his commander. He was gone, girl. There's Pat right there. YouTube remote viewing. The mystery surrounding the death of Pat Price on YouTube. I'll kind of sum it up for you. He handed the folder of what he gave to the CIA, 73. The very next day, he was poked at the Las Vegas airport. No one still knows the cause of death. I guess he was a little bit too good at what he does. I guess. Hard to say. All right. Again, nothing reported whatsoever in Canada. They quit at lunch on Thursday. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. We've got a lot going on up here. This is Mount Olympic here. This is always going off right here, kind of a flank of it. This is Mount Rainier. They put some new sensors on Mount Rainier, and I got this information from Miss Teresa, which it's a true story. I did check it out before I would say it. And that must mean they're worried about Mount Rainier. That's flanking Mount Rainier, just a small 0.6. This is going to be, I believe, yep, Amboy, Washington. You can't see the white part here, but believe it or not, that's on top of Mount St. Helens. Dr. Joey lives almost, well, in this valley right here, but almost where this earthquake, this 1.3 went off. Now, speaking of earthquakes and Dr. Joey, we also had some quakes out here on the Juan de Fuca plate here. That's being pushed under the North American plate by the Pacific plate. Remember, every bump you see here is a volcano. And this plate being pushed under the other one is causing the magma to be pushed to the surface in what we call the Cascadia volcanic ridge, mountain ridge. They call it the Cascadia subduction zone. It's also causing magma to be pushed to the surface in Snake River here. Snake River. Y'all might remember Evel Knievel jumped the gorge there in Snake River. Never really jumped it. He flew to the bottom of it in his jet bike a few times. It's about the extent of it. These are some really, we're showing no activity in Yellowstone whatsoever. Got a pretty big quake down here, a 4.4 right outside or right inside. And this is going to be Salt Lake City. You can call it Thatcher, but this is Salt Lake City, Utah. That's all Salt Lake City. I've been there many times. Oil and gas, that's where I'd fly into for my Utah stuff. And we'll back out a little bit. This circle here is Wawa Springs. We do have something happening in Wawa Springs. I did get y'all's reports on negative earthquakes. All the USGS said was it was an earthquake that humans couldn't feel. That's all it said in the summary I got, but at least I read it. This is all fracking in Oklahoma. This is all fracking in West Texas. Although it says New Mexico here, look, 51 kilometers south of White City, New Mexico, because they're in the middle of nowhere out here. This is all fracking here too. You can tell by the low depth and the small magnitude here. All right, so there's a lot going on. We did have a 4-4 on the plate that just disappeared here. I wanted to get to it, but we didn't have time. This is the Sierra Nevada. It's supposed to be the new West Coast. Also, the Walker Lane fault system goes all the way up to Seattle. And they believe all this is going to be the new West Coast here, and that this will be a really nice bay, and that most of the water will come through the San Francisco, Oakland area. And we're going to do a little fun here, have a little fun. We're going to Cobb Mountain Geothermal, I guess the biggest geothermal plant in the nation, or no, in the world, Earth right now. I want to say world. On Earth right now, after the one in Iceland was melted by that volcano that erupted. I remember seeing that last guy pulled off about 2 minutes before the platform was overwhelmed with magma. So I'm going to show y'all a picture of geysers and show y'all some things, because we might have some new folks here. You can see I have Geysers Geothermal Plant here. Most of the pictures, for some reason, have been bought. There's now 19 turbines. What they do is they've drilled into Cobb Mountain volcano in what's called the Clear Lake Volcanic Range, and they use the magma to create steam to turn turbines, just like a river dam would do. Now they have 19 different wells going into this volcano. I don't see a picture that shows all 19 of them. These are fairly dated pictures, and the ones that are more recent have been bought by like Almany and other picture companies. But right now they have 19 of them. That's a fact, Jack. You can see Almany all over this. This must be like a picture everyone wants. So they drill into the volcano, in this case Mount Cobb. And this volcano, the magma is so close to the surface that they get anywhere from 20 to, what I've seen, over 80, 90 earthquakes in 24-hour period. And I'm going to show you how this works. You drill in. This is the museum. So this is going to be the older turbines. To me, it looks like they're made of, like it shows you exactly how the turbine turns into electricity. I'm going to show you all the museum up on the mountain here, hopefully. Hopefully. They've taken all this out. I guess they don't. Oh, there we go. We found it. These are the old turbines, so it's just like a jet engine. You take the steam, compress it, and then shoot it out. Just like a 10-speed or 20-speed. Exactly how that works. And I'm sure that the fan blades are one way on this side and the opposite way on this side. So it actually increases the pressure as it squeezes it down and then releases it. And what that does is create enough electricity to actually run all of San Francisco, which is right here, most of Oakland, some of the Palo Alto Valley, and also Sacramento, which is right here. And again, this is Clear Lake Volcanic Range. There's several volcanoes here I did reports on. YouTube took them down. This is Clear Lake itself, and this is the city of Clear Lake. Right there and there, it's the city of Clear Lake, and this is Cobb Mountain. Now, my two questions to you guys. If you worked there, it's going to be more than 22, Johnny Cash. If you worked there, I'd want a 3-day work week, 13.3 hours. I'd sleep for, 8, eat, poop, get ready to work in, and leave for 4 days to try to get. I've been through a lot of, I've drilled 72 wells in Northern California, so I've been through a lot of earthquakes, and I've ended up on the ground from 3.0s. But on the ground, I mean, I took a knee because I felt so, not dizzy, but just disoriented. Everyone else laughed at me. I didn't know what was happening. Of course, I was at a bank one time. I took a knee at a restaurant. That means that I could see or sense something, although no pictures were falling or nothing like that. I could sense something was really going wrong here for me, and I'd never been through anything like that. Now, after 3 or 4 times, I would be able to stand and just kind of wait for it to finish. Usually it was 10, 20 seconds, which does feel like an eternity during an earthquake. I want 2 numbers. 200, Miss Teresa. You've been crazy, but maybe you're right. So 41's probably closer. You probably meant something else, but I want 2 numbers from you guys. Would y'all work here? Their 0 means they wouldn't work here. And I don't blame you. I mean, you know, you could be a cook, security guard, doesn't matter. You're still going to endure. The most I've ever seen in one day is 88 earthquakes on Mount Cobb. And you can see this one happened in the last hour here. And how much would you work for the year? How much would you work for the year? I'm going to go ahead and just guess. You know, the Lord used to give me the numbers. He started to speak to me again as soon as I talked about it the other night. I won't lie to y'all. I'm so excited about it. I got messages to give to y'all, etc. So, only probably because I reached out and said, why aren't you speaking to me? What is going on here? All right, and I will work for $450,000 because I heard California is an expensive place to live. Again, I would want the 3-day work week, which would be 13.3 hours times 3. That'd be 40. 40, and heck, I don't even need a 2-week vacation. I'll be all right. Just put, well, I don't even know if I want my 3 days together, i.e. 6 days in a row, and 8 days off. That might be a consideration, but I don't know. If anyone wants to answer, we're not giving away a gold bar tonight or anything, but all right, let's see what y'all got to say. Anything? Oh, you said 55, Teresa? I was wondering why you put 200 up there. You're just trying, Teresa, are you just trying to kill James's, where did my bet go? Of 54, I guess you got to it before I did. So it's me killing you, right? Me killing you. All right, let's hit it. 46. Johnny Cash. Are you cheating on us? Great guess, Mr. Cash. Great guess. Great guess. You know, I got the whole story, and that is the biggest geothermal plant. All part of the Seven Sisters coming down from Mount Rainier here. We're going to zoom out and see if there's anything else we need to talk about here. Look at this, right above my house. This is a fracking earthquake. Falls City, Texas, 5.3 kilometers. You know the depth and the magnitude. It's fracking. And my house is like right there. I won't say right by my house. I didn't feel anything. So, all right, let's see if there's anything we missed before we move on. I do want to talk a lot about this New Jersey event. I want to mention these volcanoes that run right into Boston Harbor and right into New York, right up into the continental shelf. But that's not what's causing all this. There's natural gas play here through these faults. It's called the Marcellus play. One of the only areas I don't own 1% of all the wells. Some of the only states that don't own 1% of all the wells. Like I told someone the other day, even if I'm not getting paid, I'm going to keep doing this. It's going to take more than that. Maybe another flash of light, but I was told they could only go after me once. I don't know if that's true or false. So at 2.0 at 9.9 kilometers, flip that over, and you get the true depth. 6.6, right? But I did want to show you all that volcanic range that runs right into that area. But again, that's not what's causing that. Anyone can see these faults. They're very easy to see, and they've created the pressure has created natural gas. So it's taken old hydrocarbons or carbons, that's plant material, carbon, and pushed it together to create hydro. Hydro, water, plus carbon. Carbon is old plants. That's oil and gas. Hydrocarbons, right? I know y'all already knew that, right? What am I teaching you guys that? You guys are too smart. All right, so we'll take a look. Look, we just had another quake down here in my Peruvian Chilean wedge. I just can't believe it's not lit up yet. That came in as a 7 on the DYFI. They're calling it a 5. That kind of shit pisses me off. All right, everything in red here are fires burning. I have no idea how there's fires burning up here with the snow, but the red are actually fires burning currently. Now, this was Thursday during lunch last time they reported, because, again, this is the government of Canada.ca, government of Canada, GC, government of Canada.Canada. So, the National Force of Canada right here. This is a government page. So, there's a big fire up here in the Northwest Territories. Maybe 2, maybe several. Another one down here in Alberta, and then one here right on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta here. Nothing where we regularly see the fires in British Columbia and Washington State and Oregon. That's where we always see the fires. There's nothing there. Nothing there. It's a freak show. To me. All right, so we have fire warnings, which is something I hadn't seen until last year. Those are in yellow here, and they're covering all of New Mexico, some of Colorado. This is Wawa Springs. It always catches fire in a circle because it's the largest shield volcano in the solar system. They said they didn't actually discover it until 2013. I did. It's what caused the actual Colorado River to stop flowing and work its way into the Grand Canyon and form the Grand Canyon, which is how they know about the 3,700-year schedule that I always want to tell y'all about. They went into the Grand Canyon. They could see tens of thousands of years back. And they see that every 3,700 years, there's a pole flip, and they see the ash from the volcanoes caused by the pole flip, or a symptom of, or whatever you want to say. And if you take 3,700 and you multiply it by God's number, 7, it's called a perfect cycle, and you get 25/2. Now, where did that go? We should get 25,200. 25,900. And this is 3,600. I am getting this wrong. It should be 25,200. And the cycle's 3,600. Yep, there it is right there. The perfect Mayan calendar long count, right? It's a perfect cycle, and we're in the 7th. We're in the 7th cycle right now, and we're at the end of the 7th cycle. They actually, the scientists have put it in any paper you look at, as long as you use Yandex, not Google, that they can see 6 pole flips in the Grand Canyon's layers, the layers that the water carved through the rocks, right? So we're there. We're at the end of the 7th cycle, which is God's number. And then we have, red flag warnings everywhere, all through Colorado, Kansas, Texas, into Arizona. Nothing about this is any good. You can see the fire starting to break out in West Texas, which is, there's not a tree out there, not a cow out there. It's all windmills and all oil rigs everywhere you look. You can't even find a steak that's edible out there. I want to show y'all real quick. There's no fires. Look, no fires in all of Washington State. One little fire probably put out. See, that is of the as of the 3rd. I'm going to get some extra information about that. So probably out. It was burning over 2,000 acres, but that's all we have on the entire West Coast. Nothing in California, nothing in Washington State. And then look at Central America down here where all the volcanoes are going off and all the earthquakes are occurring. Almost a perfect pattern of where the volcanoes are going off. We have one other little fire here. 200 acres. 85% contained. Very rude neighbors. They're, again, not legal immigrants. Somehow they paid $2,800 for their townhome next to mine, which is amazing to me, right? All right. Let's take a look. This is our Air Now quality map from the U.S. government. The circles are federal buildings. The squares are homeowners that buy the actual mechanism, hook it up to your internet. And the triangles, which you'll see right there, they're the mobile units. I've seen, I think, about 13. This is some of the very best air quality we have ever seen. The stations in gray have been turned off for whatever reason. I have never seen air quality. There's a fire here, so they turn the stations off around it, right? A mobile unit right here, right where they need it too, because that's exactly at the foothills where fires have started. Mobile unit. I've seen up to 13 to 15 mobile units, but I don't see a lot. Mobile unit. This is a federal building here, 117 parts per million. Just 10 parts per million, just 10, not 117, increases your lung cancer percentage by 36%, according to WHO? According to WHO and the National Cancer Foundation. I read all that. They've changed it a little bit around on Wiki, but that's the facts. They thought that they could take the 36 and just move it to 5 and do 18, but that's not how math works. Mobile. This should scare you guys. You see how it's all right there where Wawa Springs is. Mobile. We got some bad air quality here in Colorado, Alamosa. Nothing too bad whatsoever, really. 52, 5 times the 10. Monterey is one of the biggest industrial cities you'll ever go to. The stuff offshore bothers me. Of course, this bothers the heck out of me, 155 parts per million, whereas in 10 increases your lung cancer percentage by 36%, according to the WHO. I only give WHO statistics because that's all that, Facebook, YouTube allows me to give. Now, y'all can see all this. Can anyone guess what's causing all this PM 2.5 here but me? What did y'all see when we were looking at volcanoes in this area? What did y'all see? I'm about to show y'all the way of the winds. But what do y'all think is causing all this stuff? You can see me beeping from right there. Of course, it's all the active volcanoes in Central America, period. That's all it is. 100% of the chance. And that's what's causing that huge PM 2.5 cloud. Although this is, again, some of the very best air quality I've ever seen in the U.S. You just have that one problem. Moab, Utah. Y'all let me know if y'all know of any volcanoes in that area. I know Moab is somewhere I've been. I drilled what's called the Central Overthrust in Utah. It's an oil play. And several other coal bed methane plays, Uinta Tribe play, Uinta coal bed methane play, the Western Slope play, natural gas as well. And that's, that I think 7 of the 10 wonders of America, whatever you want to call them, are in Utah. So I made sure to go to all of those in my short time here on this ball. So y'all think that the tornadoes were bad for the last couple of days? Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Look what we have inbound. This is unbelievable. Why can't I get... we're right at... Now look at the moisture being pumped in. Really. All the way from this... well, it looks like a damn hurricane. I already checked the Hurricane Central and the National Hurricane Center. They're not showing anything there. They might tomorrow. But when you're dealing with 60-mile-per-hour winds coming from what's not really a high, it's a subtropical low. And look, there's plenty more lining up behind it, ready to come. See how they're spinning counterclockwise? High pressures spin clockwise, just so you guys know. But they will put H's here. And this is real time. We're going to run this through because y'all also see the moisture coming off the Gulf here. If you think the 130 volcanoes, the 130 tornadoes that we had the other day was a lot, in 48 hours, it's going to get worse and worse. That's really what's going on. Watch this. Here it comes. Going to hit that moisture. I've already got a forecast pulled up for you guys. It's going to be a total. Look at this. Oh, my Lord. You guys have no idea how bad this is going to get. They have it dissipating. It's not going to dissipate. It's going to intensify. Intensify. Look at this. The entire Central Park is going to be on fire. Let's see when it's going to quit. If it's going to quit. Maybe through Wednesday. Maybe into Wednesday. Maybe even into Thursday. Does it pick back up? I don't see any other fronts really coming through, but it looks like it picks back up. It looks like by Thursday we might have some clear weather finally for a day or two. But look what's coming. Spinning counterclockwise. Look behind that. Counterclockwise, you can actually find a center here. The eye of the storm. And you can actually find winds here. Let's see if we can find any 54. I was looking for something that was at least, well, they're close to tropical storm. There's 73. That's hurricane winds right there. Of course, that's hitting Alaska and British Columbia here. And this is the next one to hit Oregon and California. You can see that this is going to be a bad scene. I want to bring my brothers and sisters over here in the UK and Ireland. The UK here, the UK also here in Northern Ireland into the picture. We're going to play this back for them because they're going to have a bunch of, atmospheric rivers. I've got to remember every term, right? Atmospheric rivers inbound. And these states, this is France here, this is Spain, Portugal, could be in big trouble. I don't see any direct impacts through Tuesday. And I want y'all to all remember this. When you think it's going, this is going to actually probably hit Ireland. Northern Ireland's part of the UK. Still was never, William never actually gave that up. And y'all can see it start to hit the UK here. And look, everything's spinning counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, which means what? Subtropical low-level pressure. And that's a huge one. Hitting Norway and Sweden over here. Absolutely huge. Now, huge. What I do want to show y'all is anytime y'all feel bad about what's happening in your neck of the woods, just go down into the, into South America and see what they have to deal with. Everything. And so look, these are spinning clockwise, so they're spinning the wrong way as well for the south. I don't know if the poles are flipping or what. This is going to be a strong one here. Let's see if we can get up one more mile per hour and we would hit hurricane. We can't hit a hurricane with tropical storm. Look, everything's spinning clockwise. Oh, Lord, look at the winds here. A Category 2 hurricane here. And it's straight line winds right under and in between Antarctica and Australia here. And really coming back to hit New Zealand. And this looks like an actual system, a real system here. I should probably pull up my radar that I do have from that area over there. This is an actual tropical storm here. I want to show you guys it's spinning also clockwise. It should be spinning counterclockwise as a tropical storm in the southern hemisphere. So it's just like the sun. They're supposed to spin kind of like the negative and positive ombres in the sun. They're supposed to spin the opposite ways that we've seen them spin so far this year. All right, this is what we're dealing with right now. We did have some tornadoes that looked like they were trying to form. All in all, we've got red flag and burn warnings here. What is that? Lake wind advisories. Doesn't look like high wind advisories, high wind warnings and high wind advisories here, which again, these are all going to catch up with all the moisture coming off the Gulf, and they're going to blow up. That's what this is all about. So I want to show you all today's forecast. We actually did have some supercells down here. I want to pull up tornadoes and see if there's anything that's hit. According to the University of Michigan, they're not working either. These people don't work. I've never taken a day off in my whole life. When I ran an oil and gas company, I worked Saturday and Sunday. When I owned an oil and gas company or 3, I worked Saturday and Sunday. I don't know what a day off even feels like. When I go on vacation to the Bahamas or Puerto Rico or Cozumel, I got a phone on me, and if the call comes, I go back up to the hotel and do work. It sucks, but that's my life, right? So this is the big deal. I got some people that actually came on Facebook and asked me what was going to happen. I said, I'm going to show you tonight. Please tune in here. We have a huge tornado warning for tomorrow. We know we're going to see a lot of tornadoes. This is Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, into Texas, Arkansas, and just a part of South Dakota. But look, see the L's? The L, at least they're being truthful. You never, look, L here, L here, L here, L here, L here. At least they're being truthful. You never see them do that. I CC'd NOAA in my report last night. They probably shit a brick and called YouTube. But hey, that's why I'm here, right? And then look at that tornado warning. And not only the tornado warning, this front that's coming in next that we just looked at and talked about. This is the one we're still dealing with right now. This is going to go from Arkansas to Tennessee to Missouri to Kentucky to Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia. And then the very next day, we've got a much stronger front that they're actually labeling a low, but they'll switch these up. You watch me. You watch it. These will all say H's tomorrow. Does the wind change direction? No, not at all. It's even spinning counterclockwise while it's over the, United States. We won't call it America because people in South America and Central America and Canada get very angry when you use the word America. You have to use the word United States or Estados Unidos, right? Estados Unidos. Teresa, and is that right? Well, thank you for looking that up. So look, I do have a tornado warning coming up here. We're still dealing with rain here. This is current data. I just can't believe it. Again, y'all know I live up in this corner right here, this triangle. So I'm getting a little high and dry safety. Meanwhile, my beach house is getting nailed. So, and the family wants to move to West Palm Beach. I said there hasn't been an East Coast Florida hurricane in 10 years. As soon as you guys move there, and if I follow what's going to happen, well, we all know it's going to be a Cat 5. Now, this is the air quality I want everyone to look at. I want y'all to see the Central America part where all the volcanoes are and how that PM 2.5 being created by the tornado, the volcanoes, and also the Sierra. How does the sandstorm have PM 2.5 at levels like this? 49 parts per million, or nanograms per meter cubed. How's that possible? When 10 increases your lung cancer percentage by 36%, it's just coming straight in. This, I understand. There's only 3 things that I could read about, and if y'all could find more, please tell me, that cause PM 2.5, which is the smallest particulate known to man, the most dangerous because it can break the blood-brain barrier. It's so small it can go through the blood vessels into the brain. And it was responsible for 4.1 million deaths in 2016 alone, according to WHO. They hate it. I have it all memorized, right? And that's WHO. YouTube, that's WHO. Not me, not you. All right. And this is all coming from these volcanoes up in here, floating right up into Texas and all the Gulf Coast states. And remember, 10. This is really nanograms per meter cubed. I call it parts per million. But it's all flowing into the U.S. here. And y'all can see that this is just filled with deadly gases. I wonder what coming right off the continent here. Deadly. Spend a couple of days over there. Enjoy the show, right? All right. I want to take over to firms. Everything you see here is 404 hectares, which is 1,000 acres or larger. I want to just point out real quick, if you haven't noticed, there's nothing in Washington State, nothing in Oregon State, and one fire that is 1,400 acres, which is very small, down here in, well, I won't even say, I guess it's the valley. It's the valley. Near Kim's house is where that is. Then I want y'all to look around. Hopefully we're going to get a feed here. Then I want y'all to look around. James, I mean, I almost told y'all this before they told y'all. Just like I did Walker Lane Fault Line. I had the #1 video up for 2-3 years before they took that down too. They absolutely hate me. I know way more than they want me to. We'll just put it like that. Nothing in Washington, Oregon, or Northern California. Wawa Springs is doing exactly what I taught y'all it would do and does every year. There's going to be a ring of fire around it because it's the biggest shield volcano in the world. This is Yellowstone. Not much happening here, but we do have fires breaking out in Montana here. Now, what's really weird is most of the fires, and this is where I warned y'all, 2 fires here, the big thicket right by my house, 1,800 acres, a little bit north, Sam Houston State Park, where I used to race my dirt bikes. And this is the big thicket here. If this all hooks up, this goes all the way up to New York City, nothing but trees. Look how many fires there are on the east. I won't say east of the Mississippi because that's the Mississippi. But I say, you know, the east part of the U.S. Look how many fires over 1,000 acres are in Florida right now. It's unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at Mississippi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at Louisiana. 1, 2. Arkansas 2. I've got one right above me. We've got some fires in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Nothing to fret about. All right, and this is real-time GOES from our GOES satellite. Now, I don't trust anything NASA gives me after what we've been through with them, right? But I would like to show y'all. Watch that latitude. All right, so this is the equator right here. Let's see here. What you'll see here is there's kind of a blank here where the equator runs. Let me see if I can get it right on there. There's no fires, but there's fires north of the equator heavily and south of the equator heavily. This is all Brazil. And the same goes for everything. This is all south of the equator. But the same goes for everything. Really, really weird. Look at India, completely on fire. Burma, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, completely on fire. And then up in the Philippines, completely on fire. And where we had the 4 earthquakes down here in Australia, we have fires starting. In Tasmania, we have fires starting. In that whole area right there, we have fires starting. It's amazing. Nothing's happening in Papua New Guinea. Nothing's happening over in Fiji. And especially amazing, nothing is happening, according to NASA, in New Zealand. All right. I don't think there is such thing as a Cat 6. Is there? I've lost 2 homes already. Did they raise the deal? Let's call Miss Teresa and see. I think she's probably finished camping. My daughter starts her new school tomorrow. I got pictures to share. Tiffany Hartman, I called you. You okay? Quit texting me. I'm okay. I'm going to tell you if something's wrong. Uh-oh. Two girls got caught at the Learning Express stealing today, and they posted their stuff on Facebook. They said if they didn't return the items by tomorrow, they would press felony theft charges. And my wife just sent it because one of them looks like ours. As usual, right? She did. I'm going to beat her little ass, and I hope she does go to jail. That's scary. She said it's not ours. I did ask. All right. Shit, after that I forgot to call Miss Teresa. Oh, how's everybody doing tonight? God bless you guys. I hope a lot of y'all bought me coffees. I'm trying to hook that bell up and give you credit. My apologies. With my eye surgery, my dad's cancer surgery this month, and YouTube, it's been crazy, to say the very least. To say the very least. See if we're still live. I don't even know if we're live.
Good evening.
Hey, Miss Teresa, how are you? Did you have fun camping last night?
We are well, and it's been a lovely weekend.
Awesome. Y'all having good weather up there?
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh.
I think it was 80 degrees today.
Wow. So it's all, things are changing. We'll just put it like that, right?
Clear and beautiful. We even had bright blue skies.
And you know that it's been, 4 days of heck? We'll call it heck down here.
Yeah, you guys have got it, don't you?
You know what? I've been spared. Crystal is one of Dr. Joey. She's a doctor as well. One of Dr. Joey's friends that lives here in the Woodlands that I've met before. Her home was flooded out too. My home, my actual home's on a hill, and my townhome's 0.2 miles away from that, so I'm on a hill as well.
What a mess for y'all with it. You got a lot of heat coming now, too.
And we have all that moisture coming off. And this is not the worst one. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
The one coming up in 48 hours is for you, is as far as I can tell. And
I think we're going to get it Tuesday.
So today's Sunday, and then that's what I would suggest is Tuesday. And I mean, I
was looking at that going, that's going to be close.
I could foresee, and I don't know how close it is to you, but I could foresee another 100 tornadoes in one day.
Yeah.
There's just so much strength.
That's what I meant with the Cat 6 this year, because everything is so enhanced.
So is there such thing, or are you just kind of like making a...
Exactly. Not yet, but they're going to have to make one, aren't they?
Right. I mean, I had to call and ask because things change so much these days. They might have decided to add a Cat 6 and an F6 tornado, a Cat 6 hurricane. You guys know I've already lost 3 homes, 2 on the beach in Biloxi, and then 1 here across from the front gates of NASA on we call it Clear Lake, but it's really the Bay of Galveston, right?
Yeah, all the hurricanes we went through when we lived in Florida, my husband's and my home was high and dry.
Now, when did you live in Florida and where?
We lived in Clearwater, Florida from 79.
Guys, that's the Gulf Coast side, just so you know.
Yeah, until 90.
My dad loves Clearwater, but he's also uppity. So we're looking in Palm Beach. We're selling all 5, 6 of our homes and properties to afford 1. I said, why are we doing this? Well, we're going to make it big enough so everyone that doesn't have a place to go, we're going to do like a 10-bedroom type deal. I said, well, can I have the maid's quarters?
You want room for everybody.
Room for everybody. Things are about to get tough, and they need my arsenal. I'm kidding.
That's what everybody's doing now anyway.
Well, we ended up having 6 different homes, and for us, it makes perfect sense to sell the lots from... That's still from Katrina, 2001. We owned 2 lots there, guys, on the beach. And so... and the beach house needs to be sold. My dad sold his house here in the Woodlands. We sold our other house, so we're going to sell everything and try to pay cash for something. The prices at West Palm are extremely high. I won't lie to you guys.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Right.
And besides, there's so many people. There's more people there than you got in Texas.
Is that right?
Yeah, baby.
They're all moving down from like Boston, places I hate, like Massachusetts.
I don't miss it one bit. I sure don't.
Well, you were actually, my dad and me decided that Clearwater was the nicest town in Florida. We just, we liked the fancy restaurant, and stuff. Clearwater is probably the nicest place in Florida and the safest place in Florida that we could find. We actually looked for property there as well. But for some reason, they're eyed on West Palm. So, hey, if I can pay $1,000 a month instead of $2,800 a month and get the maid's quarters above the 2 or 3 car garage, I'm in. If I
move anywhere, it's going to be in the North Woods in Wisconsin.
Oh, so you think that'd be safe?
Yeah. I'm going away from people, not towards people.
Well, what you really need to do is get a map of where the silos are, and you know what type of Minuteman silos are? The Minuteman 2 silos.
Nebraska. I don't want to be near that.
Right, because they're #1 strike zone. So is Houston. Believe it or not, our mall guys, we had Hewlett-Packard move in, Compaq move in, Exxon move in. Every oil company you've ever heard of moved into the Woodlands. We had Tesla.
I'm looking like I'm right where is wonderful, great. No people, safe, quiet. It's beautiful here.
Well, Tesla just moved in. They took over this huge building that went bankrupt, a Target. Can you imagine a Target going bankrupt? You would never have thought that 10 years ago, 5 years ago for that matter. They took it over. I didn't know what it was going to be. Everyone was wondering. It's a Tesla, as in the car. And it's just down the street from me here. And they actually moved in, I would say, Patriot missile batteries. And they built a fence around them at our mall, a really cool mall called the Woodlands Mall.
Oh, yeah, I think you've showed us that before.
Talk about being scary. Well, I showed y'all a launch. It came from the mall, and I wasn't quite sure what was happening. And then someone on Facebook told me, Facebook people are very smart, aren't they? My wife just sent me pictures of two girls stealing stuff from Learning, one of these high-end toy stores right here at the Kroger, 100 feet from... actually, I dropped my daughter and her best friend off there yesterday. I said, "You sure it's not ours, is it?" Boy, they look... the store posted on Facebook, they said, "We already know who the girls are. If they don't return the items by tomorrow, we're going to press felony charges." These girls look like they're about 12. It said Toy Star, but they stole it. And they were on film the whole time. She just sent me
You can't do anything these days without being on film.
Always remember, when you do anything, you're on film, okay? So kind of make your decisions using that as a baseline, right? What would someone that saw you doing this think? Ask yourself that.
That's what integrity's all about, isn't it? Always do the right thing, even when nobody is looking.
And you know what? I feel like I have more integrity than anyone in the world. I really do. Not anyone in the world, but I just feel like I've taught my daughter well enough, but maybe you have to learn your own lessons. I'm not quite sure about that.
But, I agree with that. It's no matter what we do, they have to learn their own lessons.
Now, you have to remember, when I was running 75 attorneys for 13 oil companies, I could have dipped my hat and done some things that were on the cusp, but I never did. I always went outside what's called the AMI, or Area of Mutual Interest, that I was hired under before I would do anything, right? Never one time did I do anything, because you never want a bad reputation. And really, I'm the kind of guy that wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Exactly. Even if you don't think nobody knows, you know.
I know, and I'm the kind of guy that will obsess over it, because I would not do that, just so you'll know.
Me either, babe. Me either.
You might or might not know, but you know what? I believe in karma, yin yang, dark light energy. If
what Mama used to say, what goes around comes around.
Same saying, just a different way to say it, right?
That's right.
Walmart's locking up everything where you live, Tiffany. It's because of your politics up there. Massachusetts is the worst. And then they're all moving to ruin Florida. And I say that, I see Dan's integrity. It's about as far as I can kick it in the air, right?
You watched all them boats coming on shore with all them people and illegals and stuff. And the Coast Guard can't catch them all.
Well, that was a $500,000 boat, and they just left it running there. So,
well, they probably stole it.
No, not probably. I bet the guy got it back undamaged eventually. And let's hope it was an American and not some Hispanic that says, "Oh, that's my boat they stole," and then we send it back to Mexico for another run. Let's just hope that didn't happen, because that's kind of how we operate now with Brandon in charge, right?
Yeah, it's so sad.
All right, guys. Well, I want to first thank Miss Teresa. And yes, I started actually driving toward your house once I saw the turkey. Man,
Jared put that on the smoker, and let me tell you. Oh.
I got about 30 miles, and I said, "Hey, man, I got 40 more hours here. This is not going to work out. It's going to be cold."
Oh, he is a master at that grill and smoker.
That's awesome. Smoking your food is always the best taste, and especially if you use a red oak.
It couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
I think he uses cherry or apple.
Do y'all have oak up there?
What, baby?
Do y'all have oak? Oak?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got all trees.
Is that what he's using?
I think he's using apple or cherry wood.
Okay, so, okay, well, I'll have to look into that. The best barbecue places I've ever been use sweet oak, is I think what they do, and they cook those briskets for about 24 hours, and,
We were just talking about getting a brisket to do it, yeah.
Yeah, those are the kind of briskets that you really, really can't go without for too long. Miss Teresa,
Burnt ends are the best.
Oh God, you must be exactly like me. When they do the beef ribs, they only do them on Thursdays. Like 5 beef ribs are $74, 5 of them, but there's no fat whatsoever. Like you find
Your
out,
prices are outrageous. Jeez.
but there's no fat, and these beef ribs are huge, right? It's nothing.
Yeah, they are big.
No one's ever seen beef ribs like this because I've been at every barbecue in just about in the U.S. Okay, and
We just got baby backs for $2.22 a pound.
Yeah, but I don't really enjoy pork all that much.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it really. My dad loves pork baby back ribs. I just like those beef ribs, and they're so impossible to find without the fat and gristle all over them. When you finally find someone that cooks them for 24 hours with no fat and gristle, you're willing to pay $74 for 5 of them. Just me.
You don't obviously put a price on, what you enjoy. So,
And they only make them on Thursday, and they're sold out by 1, so I always sneak in there. I used to get 5 for the whole family. Now I get 2 or 3 because they're big. I won't lie to you guys. And if you don't like ribs, you can pull the meat off of them and get a bun and some sauce of your choice.
barbecue.
Yeah, and make there's so many.
It's the same with chicken, turkey. You can just pull anything and make it.
I hear that. Pulled. You're saying it right. So we are going to bounce back at you guys, probably with a headlines video real quick.
Okay, thank you for the call. Nice talking to you.
Hey, lots of love. I really, you kill me with these pictures, I feel like...
Frank and I are doing great here. It was a lovely weekend. It goes too fast always. So.
Right. Y'all got all planted, didn't y'all?
What, babe?
Are y'all all planted, seeded?
Yep, the garden's planted. I sent you a garden picture. Did you see it?
I did. I just wasn't sure if that's what you meant or not. It looked tilled and seeded to me, but I couldn't tell.
Yep, all done.
Well, good for you. What are we looking at? August, September?
What? Till we got produce?
Till you harvest.
Oh, we'll get peas in here coming up by the 1st of June.
How many acres are y'all planting?
Oh, just the garden?
Oh no, all your acreage, your corn, your whatever. I'm hoping you don't sell to someone that GMOs your corn.
No.
I hope you care enough about that. It's always great to find what I call organic corn with no additives, right?
We're seed savers.
Using your own. Good for you. Well, God, everyone say a prayer for Miss Teresa. She's my favorite subscriber.
Okay, we're praying for y'all in Texas. Stay dry and high.
That's impossible, but we'll deal with it. And I want to warn everyone what Miss Teresa said about Tuesday. It's going to be ferocious. I've never seen a tropical storm in the middle of America hit all the moisture that I'm seeing coming off the Gulf right now. So y'all get ready. I will be live trying to warn people, but...
Thank you for what you do for, you know, get that information out there and help a lot of people to know to be prepared.
We'll try to give everyone at least an hour warning if we can, because we can see that. Remember last night when I hung up? Oh, I took it so hard. It was crazy.
I was watching that. That was a bad storm.
Oh, it got so crazy around here. I didn't even sleep. My eyes are black. After 4 nights of thunder, it happens to start at midnight and end at 7 in the morning, right?
Every day.
Every day for me.
And enhanced. They're just worse than they've ever been.
And they're, I think, going to get a whole lot worse. Let me say one thing to everyone.
Was you going to call George to read?
I am going to, but on the next program probably. But I'd like to say one...
Because he was falling asleep. He's tired.
Oh, well, I'd like to say one thing. What do you say, T-Nova?
I love you too, Miss Tiffany.
Let me say one thing to everyone. I'm going to hold the Boeing launch live tomorrow night, starting at 8:30 Central.
Is there really people, astronauts?
There, I mean, they say there is. What do you want me to answer? I always think that they kind of like dump them and then put them in storage for a few weeks. I mean, who would... This is the story right now.
How long has it been?
This is the story right now. They're not going to the moon. They're going to the ISS, but only for 11 days. And would y'all get aboard a Boeing? Boeing?
No, I wouldn't.
And then we haven't used an Atlas V rocket since 1971 or something. And that's what they're going to try to use. They're, I don't know, trying to screw Elon. Who knows? I won't try to get involved with that. It's all...
Can't figure it out. Whatever it is, it's no good.
It's all just slush funds. If y'all think that, if y'all saw other countries' space budgets, ours is $84 billion. Theirs is like less than $1 billion. Kind of like Russia's military budget is $74 million, and ours is $2.7 trillion. It was $2.4 trillion last year.
I heard that, Tiffany.
What's that?
She said another Boeing whistleblower was found dead.
Yeah, that is true. Hey, don't blow your whistle. Do y'all realize that anyone that's ever spoke bad about...
It's good to have a whistle in your go bag.
Well, I do have one tied to both my go bags.
Yeah.
But you know what? What I'd like to say is that anyone that's ever turned on Brandon and the government has either disappeared. There's been about 20 or 30 people, or been put in prison. And that's 30 people in 3 years.
Everything's the opposite of what it's supposed to be.
And they say in my Bible, because I have the same one you do, Teresa, everything would turn upside down and opposite, and then everything would be exposed at the end of times, right?
Exactly right.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here.
Yeah, a lot. Seeing a lot.
Too much, right?
Sometimes. Keep the faith.
What is ridiculous? Okay. It's ridiculous that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, in my opinion. And I mean on all fronts, from the economy, intentionally ruining our economy, bringing in all these people that are 99% of the jobs went to people that didn't even have green cards, and they're all part-time jobs with no benefits. What they did, and no one realizes this but me and a few other people, they broke the Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid for the old people. Teresa, is it Medicare if you're disabled and Medicaid if you're older, or is it opposite?
Medicare is for 65 and up.
Okay,
or 66
so
and
Medicare.
Up.
So,
and that's the one that they're going to change to 72.
Cool.
And the Medicaid is for
disabilities.
Up to that age.
With disabilities, right? So they broke all the systems, and they actually stole all the money from Social Security as well. That's part of the reason they want all these people in, and they think they're going to pay taxes. Most of them are going to be working for cash.
No,
Yeah,
they'll be gone, honey. They'll be gone. They just won't be here anymore. They're just getting rid of them.
I'm talking about all these illegal migrants are coming in.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
They're looking at it. They stole the money from Social Security and Medicare, so they're looking to increase the tax base. And America's not having children anymore because who wants to bring a child into what I'm dealing with, right?
It's scary, right?
I've got
Totally understandable.
I've got an illegal alien that scared my child out of school. Now I'm having to go back to private school here.
Well, you should have just homeschooled her a long time ago.
Well, we're working something out in between, but eventually it's going to have to go back to school because that's another 50, 60 grand a year. Money does not grow on trees.
Yes, sir.
We moved here to the Woodlands because her private school was killing us. I will say that one great thing about Deter Academy at 60 grand a year, a camera and a microphone in every classroom and every hall room. So when I was working at my office, I'd have one computer pulled up at Deter Academy. There's two of them in Houston, one on Shepherd, one in Westview. And I'd be able to watch, and then you could also listen to what the teacher said.
And you can't put no amount of money on that kind of security.
And you know what? I fell in love with the teacher because she was so so cool. I mean, when I go up and meet with them, I'd be like, this lady is awesome. And she...
Thunder had another 2.6 this morning.
I thought it was a 2.0 is what I got. But
well, I looked it up and it told me 2.6. That was at 6 o'clock this morning.
So I'm sure it was downgraded as usual, right?
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Thunder, you need to watch this when I do cover your earthquake and what's going on there. Those are fault lines that have actually erupted in earthquakes thousands, not hundreds, but thousands, tens of thousands of times in the past. So there's nothing new under the sun, right?
It's just different.
Well, it's just becoming more intense, I think, right? So we will be back. I will check space weather. If there's something crazy going on with space weather, we'll do that. If not, we're going to do headlines. I'll push as I always do.
We'll see you there. Thanks for the call.
Hey, God bless Miss Teresa. Everyone give her a shout out and a prayer. And
God bless you. Our prayers are always with you, too.
Me and my one eye.
All of you. Good night.
God bless you guys. If y'all can help us with a cup of coffee, it's greatly appreciated, guys. And we'll be back very shortly with hopefully some more information that's valuable to you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we'll be back shortly with another presentation.